place out in Whidbey, and he was like, oh, it'd be great if we could go just like play music out there. And as soon as we walked in the door, it's like this cabin, you know, and this conversation pit, you know, like the old 70s style, the shag carpet and everything, like the whole nine. You know, and then we just kept on, you know, recording there, and then we just kind of threw it out there, like, yeah, what if we're just conversation pit? Because we couldn't settle on a name. We looked it up, and no one else had the name, so we just stuck.
Tonight on Band in Seattle, coming to you from Seattle's historic Central Saloon in the heart of Pioneer Square, Conversation Pit brings together shoegaze and grunge influences for a sound all their own. Welcome to Band in Seattle, live from the historic Central Saloon.
John, the bassist, moved up here with me from Texas.
I mean, we literally just like packed up and, you know, put everything in a van and moved up here with another drummer who literally, like, after 6 months of living up here was like, I don't want to play music anymore. And we were like, all right. And then, you know, tried to find another drummer for a little while and just kind of settled into Seattle for a few years before we picked it back up.
So perfect in my heart, we might as well call it where do we go? I don't care anymore.
My grandfather, as I said, was a musician, and I asked him for advice when I was very young. You know, I was like, yeah, what should I do to kind of be a musician like you? And it's like, the best advice I can give you is do it. I mean, you really have to like doing it. I would rather, you know, even suffer doing something I want to do than do something someone else wants to do and like live a comfortable life and, you know, always think what if or, you know. Chris, one of the first people I met when I moved to Seattle, he was bartending at Revolver. I walked into the bar, it was the first bar I came to in Seattle, and he was playing this record, Jeopardy by The Sound. And I was like, no one knows who this is. You know, it was like one of my favorite bands, and it was, you know, on vinyl at that. I thought it was just on a playlist. I was like, oh no, I got the vinyl, and I was like, dude, got to know him. He was in another band at the time, so I always kind of like talked to him about like, oh, let's play music sometime, and then, you know, about 6 years later, it happened. brought in a drummer. We tried out Paul, who was fantastic, and kind of built from there.
I was actually playing with Chris, kind of just writing songs in our basement, and Chris was working with Kyle and John and Terrence, who was a friend. He was playing drums at the time, and I think Terrence had to go on tour. And Chris was like, I know a guy, Paul. He'd be down. And then I just kind of, whoop, slipped in there, and that's the way that happened.
Love's gone, put songs, you turn around and you piss off. You say it's too low bars, you try to cross, but it's not enough. These are the days you call into work. Make some mistakes and kill what you love. Never again.
I was running sound at an event, and Matt was one of the people that was there to kind of help me out. But we started talking about synthesizers and things like that, and I've got my Juno 60, and he was teaching me a lot of stuff I didn't even know about it. And I was like, oh man, and by the time that we wanted to have a synth player, we tried out some people, they didn't work out, and then I was like, oh, I wonder if Matt would be down, and he was, so.
Matthew, he is like our keyboard wizard. He's also like our personal sound guy. He sets up, all of our home recording stuff. He knows what he's doing.
When we return, find out more about Conversation Pit.
Everybody sprinkles in a dash of something different. It's just like 5 engineers just flipping switches and see what happens. On A Hair of the Dog. It's kind of an emotional one. I was going through the death of my father at the time, and there's some lyrics that oddly kind of lined up in there.
Kyle completely wrote that, I want to say, probably 3 or 4 years, probably before we even became a band. He already made that demo with John, and then, all of us just kind of added, a little spice to it by bringing our parts.
Yeah, that one's kind of like a slow, broody type of song. The verses are really cool, they're really descriptive.
But the chorus is the catchiest part, of all the songs that we have, and I know it's just it rings out. And we played it probably the most out of every song we have, every show we play, and it's just, I have the most fun when we get to that part.
That's one of the ones that's misspelled too. Online is choking on the hair of the dog, and that bothers me a lot for some reason, because Because choking on a hair of the dog, there's no repeating words, you know, but choking on the hair of the dog just feels lazy to me. Chris and I are kind of the main songwriters, and we have different approaches.
Kyle's guitar playing is completely different than mine, but it's cool because we kind of complement each other. It meshes really well.
Everybody brings something to the table, you know. We all have slightly different backgrounds, even though we definitely come from this certain kind of rock genre, but it's just, everybody sprinkles in a dash of something different and nobody's driving the train, you know. It's just like 5 engineers with our hands on the sticks, kind of, you know, just flipping switches and see what happens.
Whenever you put a band together, inevitably the sound comes from the different styles and ways of playing of the people in the group. So it just kind of, we all just morphed into the whatever sound we have today, however you want to describe that.
Just inside my music box until I'm tired of cranking up the pen that I write with is often dry and very kind.
Lilac Bath is one that Matt kind of brought to the band. Kyle brought in lyrics, and then we sort of pushed this song together, and it worked out really well. It's quite dynamic.
I am definitely a huge, OG Seattle grunge fan. I am hoping it gets received as, grunge throwback kind of sound. That's the way I feel when I play it, you know. I get to, stomp on my bass, fuzz pedal, and I get to just hit all of the strings very, very heavy, and I get to play, things that I usually don't get to play to make it just sound as heavy as I can, and makes me feel very loud and good in my heart.
And the world turns round, leave me up by the edge of downtown. And the worms come round and turn me up by the dirt in your crown. And I don't need your heart. Tell me you're from the goddamn side, baby.
There's 2 songs on the album that unfortunately got released with misspellings. That's one of them. It was WHOA is how I spelled it out. And I don't know who did WOAH, but that's how it got released.
It's the old spelling, yes. The old English spelling, but Kyle and I are both very old English.
Woe used to be our warm-up song for the longest time. It was one of the first ones that we worked on as a group. It's got a nice kind of daydreamy feel.
It's really easy to sing along to. The chorus is just that one word. So it just was a simple song. It's a 3-chord song. And that one is just, whoa.
After the break, discover more about Conversation Pit.
This wall of sonic stained glass window just kind of shatters everybody by the end of the song.
Swim is probably like one of the more up-tempo numbers. That one wears me out, I know that much. You know, as a drummer, that's one where I look at the set list and you're like, okay, I hope I got enough left in the tank to get through this.
Swim is short for like someone who isn't me. Kind of, it's like the sort of dichotomy of, you know, like when you kind of speak to yourself about something, but you also have that distance of accountability.
There's some lines in there about talking about like going off to college and like what the worth of that is to certain people. Like there are certain people who try to attain scholarship and then maybe think back like I did and be like, did I really need to do that? You know, because like I have now gone down a different path.
You got some patience to be here till this way. I waited too long for your right to complete. Your junior college warms me up when life gets away.
Things Get Worse is probably one of my favorites, and it's got a real kind of thumping drum beat that just like moves the song along. It's really kind of heavy and drony in the guitars.
But then, you know, everything just kind of, you know, just wall of sonic, you know, stained glass window just kind of shatters everybody by the end of the song. And that's definitely one of maybe my favorite song to play live for sure.
Things Get Worse is, yeah, that one's probably the most self-explanatory one that I can think of. You know, it's kind of like a absurdist sort of like, you know, once you recognize that things get worse, like you can kind of move on and accept it. That's probably the only way that you can look at it positively and not get stuck on what could be or what used to be, you know. Just accept that things get worse.
Things get worse. Till it's over, wait until it's over.
We want to record a lot more, write a lot more. I mean, that's really the only goal.
We're gonna record a new 4 to 5 song EP just to get another morsel out a little faster instead of, you know, focusing on another full-length album. Do a West Coast tour. We want to explode.
To remember your desires, 'cause you're tired of trying to reach your goal.
Dessert Porn, work in progress with the title. Who knows, maybe we'll stick. And it kind of has like a early 70s like biker metal vibe, kind of in a way. That's probably one of my favorite songs that we have.
That one's not recorded. It's not on the album or anything. It's not officially released.
And it's like a real kind of repetitive, rollicking kind of song that bubbles along.
Thank you for watching. To find out more about our bands, go to bandinseattle.com. Special thanks to the Central Saloon.